Reminds me of the ravine near Stellar Bay. Only less acid.
Muting volume. Now.
Show your boss that you are prime, because you take a tree at a time.
Preparing to neutralize and sanitize.
Solid kill! Don't mess with us!
Toxin neutralized. detected.
Captain, transmission request from Ambrose Manor.
Captain! Imagine my surprise when I saw the Unreliable leaving Gorgon with so much urgency and purpose. Tell me you found Mother's journal. I'm positively dying for good news. Too bad. But on the bright side, you've outdone my old freelancer. I don't think you made it very far at all. If I know Spacer's Choice, getting past the lockdown will be more complicated than just hitting a big red button. You'll need authorization, and layers of it. No. I think you're going to have to rely on good old-fashioned detective work. It's a good thing you have keen senses, a reliable ship, and a very wealthy sponsor. No, but I'm overjoyed that you had the courage to ask for one. You should always expect more from your employer. I seem to recall that Mother worked closely with Gorgon's R&D personnel, but not close enough to invite them over for dinner and cocktails, if you get my meaning. By now, they'll have moved on with their lives. If only I could do the same. I knew Mother was involved with some important chemical trials, but I had no idea her pet project was adrenatime. Adrenatime is a working man's stimulant, like a caffeinoid. Very popular at launch, though the marketing quieted down over time. What? No. I mean, there's some very morbid wording in the fine print, but I had no idea adrenatime could make marauders out of people. That's it. That must be it. Spacer's Choice is keeping their dirty little secret about adrenatime off the record. We have to find Mother's journal. If we don't, then Spacer's Choice gets away with murder. I only hope we aren't too late. Safe travels. If your leads give you any trouble, be sure and give them some trouble back, yes? Ta!
What was caution? Unit's performance evaluation is sterling.
Wouldn't it be something to see if Earth is salt Land here? Don't be ridiculous.
Entering quiet mode.
C&P Borstworst. It's not the worst unless it's Borstworst. C&P chicken and potatoes at C&P Pizza. C&P near maple syrup. It's near this complete breakfast.
I only wish they weren't showing so many Spacer's Choice ads in the commercial breaks. Who do they think their audience is?
I've always loved that sculpture.
It's an orrery.
What?
I love Byzantium. Where else are you going to find art, culture, working toilets?
I'm sure other colonies have cities like this.
But those are so far. Remember that stranger I saw in the square? Shh. You know, the one with their own personality.
What was that?
Watch out!
Don't hurt me! Don't hurt me!
Bring him down!
Incoming! Neutralized!
No! Please don't hurt me!
Hey, I know your face. You're wanted by the board. Mind where you're pointing that thing? Hey, slow down. What's the hurry? Wow, you're a living, breathing outlaw. That is, until security outside gets their eyes on you, but let's not spoil the moment. If you're here for the annual Canid review, I'm afraid it's already over. Only thing going on behind those doors is good, old-fashioned lawful behavior. This greeting constitutes your confidentiality agreement. You hereby agree not to disclose the location or existence of these events. Thank you for cooperating. Oh, that's just so encouraging to hear. I'll just go ahead and add your comment to my permanent record. Now then, how can I help you? Mr. Mostly is indeed attending our event, although I am disappointed to discover he did not officially enter his Canid La Place into our competition. You should find Mr. Mostly just inside the prep room. Head inside and take the door to your left.
Oh, just hear me out. It's a brilliant idea. Canid hunting is the natural evolution of Canid shows.
It's not Canid hunting.
Hey, Maverick Johnston's newest star. I've got a question for you. Do you know the interesting thing about canid shows? Oh, but there is, if one possesses an eye for statistics. Mathematically speaking, the interesting thing about canid shows is this. They're an exercise in futility. Winning is predetermined. Over time, the inevitable trend is that the race goes to the swift. Time and chance are just statistical outliers. In other words, if you put enough canids through enough trials, the one with the most optimal attributes generally wins. Exercise in futility. Oh, goodness, no. Not at all. I'm an actuary, you see. Well, not entirely. The actuarial sciences are more of a passion than a profession. So I suppose that makes me mostly an actuary. That's a bit of a family joke. I'm Clarence Mostly. Yes, that's us. Mostly oak trees, too. My grandfather invented them, you know. Well, no, he didn't invent mostly oaks, but he did purchase the naming rights back during the terraforming days. It's essentially the same thing. How do you know that name? Project Gorgon was supposed to be a secret. I see we're being rude. All right, have it your way. It's true, I was involved with Project Gorgon, but that chapter of my life is long since closed. Listen, I don't know what you want with Gorgon or with me, but let me give you some free advice, Let the past go. Live in the moment. Enjoy the party. I was wondering if you were the sort of person to accept sensible advice or respond with threats of violence. Thank you for resolving that ambiguity for me. Lifting the lockdown won't be easy. You'll need to send overrides from the chem lab and human inquiry. I don't have that level of clearance, but I know 2 people who do. The trouble is, I don't know you. I don't trust you. I washed my hands of Gorgon, and you're asking me to dirty them all over again. I'm going to need a good reason. Right, of course. Thank you for reminding me. Point well taken. I want a favor from you. Do something for me, and I'll do something for you. That way we don't have to rely on mutual trust. A grand prize trophy to the Canid Review. I want it in my hands. Get me that trophy, and I'll give you the remaining researchers. Names, locations, as much information as I have. What, really? You'll do it? I mean, just like that? Don't you want to know why I asked you? While you're technically correct, which is my favorite kind of correct, no, that's not why. My canid, Laplace, is statistically superior to every other canid in this review. Better average sprinting time, superior gait coefficient, optimal anatomical symmetry. I didn't bother entering little Laplace in this pointless contest. He's already won on paper, you see. That trophy rightfully belongs to him. Head into the main hall and take the elevator down into the maintenance tunnels. You'll find a service passage that leads up into the trophy room. The maintenance tunnel is the only way up into the trophy room. Some technician barred the door shut on our end. Ask Tilda Coatsworth about it, over by the podium.
You'd only be letting them into Byzantium temporarily.
Muting volume now.
Messing with us?
Mean and ready to kill germs.
Everyone all right? All that pomp and circumstance out there. For this. The hell's the point?
Come now, Anubis. You must.
I don't know what's worse here. The leashes or the folks holding them.
You know, the careers of 9 out of 13 actors end after their debut serial. Enjoy the fame while it lasts. My trophy! Look at this thing! Have you ever seen a more garish monument to the boredom of the elite? If only Grandfather Mostly were alive today, I would have loved to wave this trophy right in front of his cataracts. I hope you won't take it personally when I say I had my doubts about you. Nothing ever gets done in Byzantium, you see. Competent work is, well, a statistical anomaly. Lifting the emergency lockdown requires overrides from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. Access to those facilities requires authorizations from 2 senior-level researchers. Marion Blakesley, Jasper Lowe. They went into hiding after the project collapsed, but I've managed to calculate their last known whereabouts within a reasonable margin of error. I see you're familiar with my technique. I'd love to show you my numbers, but there aren't nearly enough napkins in this room. After the project shut down, I had to keep my mind occupied. I worked on my actuarial tables, calculated the average lifespan of a Spacer's Choice worker, that sort of thing. I realized some of the researchers had to be alive. I ran some numbers, did a little research, and concluded that the 2 most likely survivors are Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe. Try to exercise caution. It's good for your lifespan.
Someone has left a threatening message on your terminal, Captain. I was unable to trace its origin. Please make a note of it. Welcome back, Captain. How can I... Take care.
Objects in proximity are determined to be heavily soiled. Prepare.
Hey you, over here. It's Chad. Whoa, 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 it's Riz. Oh, fuck it, damn it. Every time. So, hey, you trespassing, and I'm armed. Maybe take a second look at your life choices, pal. Nothing. Never mind. What, you gonna report me? I don't work for them no more. I'm with the gardeners now. All of us kept the peace for the corpse once, but we got tired of being used. Hey, I like to get my hands dirty. It's just a name. Old lady we work for, she likes plants. We're here to keep the streets clean. Hallways. You know what I mean. Anyway, Blakesley's given us standing orders to strongly discourage anyone who tries to come in. I like to, extrapolate from there.
Caution! Infestation encroaching! Objects in proximity.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I know that lady. I know she's looking for, solitude. She hired us to make sure no one comes sniffing around. Guess that's bad news for your plan there. What, after 5 years? Pretty sure she's serious about a little stint in solitary. Anyway, Blakesley's given us standing orders to strongly discourage anyone who tries to come in. I like to, extrapolate from there. This deal with Blakesley's pretty sweet. We get paid, and we get fresh greens every week. My gums never looked healthier. What? Shit. Insurance, you said? Fine, I guess. Look, we won't give you trouble, but I can't say the same about Blakesley. She's got some crazy setup in there, so if you get shot, don't come complaining to me. This one's clear, guys.
Nice work, Cap.
This must be a step up from force back.
You have to be kidding me. I thought I made myself click. Wait, what's with this camera? Hello? Damn it. Look, I get it. Some people need things spelled out for them. I'm sure one of the automechanical things explains.
This ain't a good idea. Those things can tunnel through cave systems.
Observation log, date, who knows. Subject number, well, let's call him Percy. Percy here has discovered the secret to success. He has lifted the veil and found the pattern. He wakes up, he listens for that bell 3 times a day. Food rains from the sky. He eats, he waits. Life is easy. But the second your molt comes in, pal,
you a certified swab? Have your messy habits cost you friendships, or worse, jobs? Buy a Sam to clean up your life. Sam can put a shine on your future.
Like wrapped among the rocks. Easy.
So who the fuck? Oh, wait, hang on. I can't hear a damn thing. Just gonna shut this thing off. Right. Marion Blakesley, what can I do for you, Mr. Home Invasion? Spacer's Choice send you? Took your sweet time. Gorgon? I holed up in a forgotten cargo bay of a rotting colony ship just so I could never hear that name again. But here you are. That bastard. Is he still only mostly worthless, or has he achieved mathematical perfection in that regard? Yeah, most people don't change much. Clearance lacks the attention span for this sort of thing. Someone wants to dig up the past, and you're the shovel, right? Huh. All soft clay here, pal. You want to know about HIA? I'll tell you. Corporate demanded a product they could throw onto shelves. That put the squeeze on low at Chem to develop formulas. Samples. But how do you know if the product works? You run tests, see what happens. That's where human inquiry and auditing came in. I ran HIA, and HIA ran the tests again and again and again. And what happens is a whole lot of wasted time and even more bodies. Testing supervisor. I designed the initial testing regimens, managed the staff, made sense of the test results. Tried to anyway. People are complicated, and I don't just mean the test subjects. Try and avoid working with people if you can. It always gets messy. You've heard the adverts, right? Work day and night, still feel refreshed the next morning. Now, what we tested for was dexterity, efficiency, compliance. The traits of a good employee. Numbers never came out right. I could have pumped gallons of those chemicals into every living soul in this colony. Wouldn't have changed that. What we got was marauders. And I got a hefty corporate paycheck for it, too, up until it all fell apart. That's not the part that made Spacer's Choice give up, anyway. You can still buy Adrena time, after all. Sure, I don't mean to stop you. Indulge a scientist. What do you want out of this investigation of yours? Trying to liven up your memoir? Gets him every time. At least the wildlife won't give you any trouble. What do you get out of headbutting murderous automechanicals for your captain here?
I've been helping folks out of scrapes for as long as I can remember. And the captain's one of the rare few that returns the favor.
Fair enough. That's all I've got. Here, I still have this pass. Don't much feel like hanging on to it anymore. Made my exit the moment the project started falling apart. Had to steal some credentials. This should get you into the volunteer induction entrance. Please, I just messaged people with fake demands for their passwords. That's when they didn't just leave codes written down on pieces of paper. If I couldn't talk my way out past a simple facility lockdown, I'd be working for Rizzo's. That'll get you inside. What you do from there, that's up to you. Yeah. I'll make sure the auto mechanicals don't bother you on the way out.
Captain, an unknown vessel is approaching our ship. Their intentions are currently indeterminate. Once I deduce their intentions, I will play one of two audio signals. A cheerful fanfare if they are friendly, alarms if they are hostile. Their intentions are no longer unknown. The unknown vessel has deployed a boarding mechanism. They will attach themselves to our airlock and attempt boarding shortly. That sound indicates that a boarding mechanism has successfully attached to our airlock. Captain, I am pleased to inform you that we are currently in the process of being boarded. I have been programmed to simulate joy and excitement at the opportunity to test my limited defensive capabilities. Captain Hawthorne installed a lethal shock trap on our airlock in the event of an invasion. I am prepared to deploy this trap at a moment's notice. The invading ship appears to be a decommissioned storage vessel. The crew are either pirates or freelancers. My opinion of their competence is low. That is unlikely. Judging by the state of the invading ship and the competence of the boarding party, I deduce they are incapable of paying for dinner. Their ship is using a tracking device too sophisticated for their primitive astrogator. I conclude they are receiving outside assistance. If you prefer to make an escape, I can disable their boarding mechanism. However, as long as that tracking device remains on board their ship, they will be able to find us again. Understood, Captain. I will be deploying the Unreliable's lethal deterrence system. Please approach the airlock and enjoy the show. Now initiating more Gorgon protocol.
Electrified and lethal. talk it dirty. Congratulations, customer. Your failure is full capacity. Mutant purified.
There's a cat.
Sanitation and maintenance job fulfilled.
You know, I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping you'd play by the rules. We could have had a good old-fashioned boarding. Now you're barging into my office, muddying tracks all over my floor. A little respect for the ship. Is that too much to ask? I'd take your word for it, but I haven't made up my mind about you. You're the captain of the Unreliable. You dropped out of the sky in Emerald Vale, and whatever you've been doing on Gorgon, you've upset my employer. You and I are in a bit of a situation. I don't get paid unless you're dead, and a man's gotta make a living. You understand.
Like a good
Dirt alert! status report. 13 jobs scheduled for area maintenance.
Welcome back, Captain. I understand you have resolved your differences with our former boarding party. Are you ready to depart? Understood, Captain. Resuming our course.
I'll lock up behind you.
Body bag dispenser empty. Please replace sack reel before disposing of any corpses. Entering quiet mode.
Keep it together, Kelly.
Sanitized. Whether you're going up or down the career ladder, SAM units polish your path forward.
Oh.
Neutralize and bag required. Good news, customer. All germs and contaminants have been neutralized.
No, that won't do it all. You imbecile.
Where did I put the... Oh, wait. Almost forgot that Yates is dead. That's good, actually. Shush. No talking. Concentrating. Damn it. I almost had it. The formula was in my mind, and I almost had it. I was so close to a breakthrough, I could practically taste it. You really did pick the worst time to manifest. Oh, hang on. I see what's happening. You're real. Ergo, not a hallucination. This is interesting. I have several questions for you. Let's start with the obvious. Who are you, and how are you even alive? No, you don't. There's nothing interesting in the chem lab. There's nothing interesting in Gorgon at all. Gorgon is a featureless rock dragged along by the gravitational current of a barren asteroid belt. The chem lab is a graveyard. You won't find anything there but the dead. I don't know why. Possibly I was just being polite. It doesn't matter. Clearly you're not about to take my advice. If you've set your heart on exploring my old labs, I won't try to dissuade you. Indulge me with a favor, and I'll give you the access you want. The electromechanical turbine is offline. Without any power, I can't possibly continue my work. Be a dear and reactivate it for me. That's all I ask. Take the elevator to the storm platform at the top of this facility. Reactivate the turbine, and I'll give you the access you want.
Trying to kill us?
Complete. Detective!
sound problem. Another massive fuck-off.
Facilities back on the grid, and my pipes again floweth with the sweet, sweet essence of my salvation. I suppose I have you to thank for realigning the machine. Of course, Jasper, you imbecile. You'll need my voice to get into the chem lab. I'm obviously not coming with you, so I'm giving you a recording of my dulcet speech. This recording should get you into the chem lab. I hope whatever you're after is worth the trauma. I wouldn't go back there if I was higher than the mercury levels in a can of salt tuna. Wait, take my gun while you're at it. If you end up dying on Gorgon, there's a non-zero chance I'll feel partially responsible. Neither of us want that. Die, perhaps? Automechanical sentries are generally programmed to ignore corpses. I don't like the idea of going back to that place, to that life. Yes, I know it's not me risking my throat gallivanting around Gorgon. It's you, for whatever madcap reasons you've got. I've helped you once, and I don't feel great about it. I made a clean break from Gorgon, and now it feels like you're asking me to tether myself back to that place. I knew I should have deleted those letters. Of all the hull-headed things I've done while inebriated, writing subversive messages to my old manager's ranks somewhere in the middle. Here, my personal security keycard. There's a hallway near the processing room. It leads to a security terminal. Use this keycard to unlock the hallway and disable security. Did you snoop through my things? And just admit it to me. You do have gall, I'll give you that. Look, I keep a draft on my terminal where I vent my occasional frustrations with upper management. It's honestly one of my less detrimental coping methods, as I am not stupid enough to fill out the name in the address field.
going to take care of you. It'll be okay. Just breathe, Kelly. Everything's gonna be all right. Who's out there? Oh, thank Auntie. You are a send from the stars. I'll open up right away.
Let me just catch my breath. I swear, my heart's trying to punch its way out of my chest. Law, I'm so lucky you came along. I know it sounds crazy, but a little while back, I'd been gearing myself up to take a long walk off a short turbine platform. Then the security mechanicals broke out into a massacre, and I realized I really want to live. How can I help you help me get out of here? Do I ever? Drop me off on the groundbreaker and I'll be out of your hair in no time. I'm Kelly Marine, the receptionist. And before you ask, I wasn't manning the visitor's desk when the mechanicals went haywire, 'cause no one comes here. Not ever. Not since all us station workers were dropped off at the start of the project a year ago. You're an odd one, aren't you? No respectable company operates without a receptionist. Project's on a yearly rotation cycle. Once a year, Auntie Cleo reviews our work and decides if we get more rations, personnel, deadlines, that sort of thing. At first, I thought it was an honor, getting assigned to a lab up in the ether high above Olympus. But I didn't know what it'd be like, day in and day out. I ask myself that question a lot, and then I realize I'm talking to myself. Cabin fever sets in at about 90 days. Auntie Cleo's official term is contagious irritable claustrophobia, and it ain't covered by the company's medical policy. After a while, you start imagining things, unhealthy things, like what might happen if you triggered Pink Slip Protocol. I did try once or twice, but wasn't ever successful. Now I'm glad. But enough about me. I never did ask why you were here. Doc Lowe's alive? That's a relief. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Hey, not to sound presumptuous, but this is an orbital lab floating in the ether thousands of miles above the surface of Olympus. Which means you've got a ship, where it's safe, and where there's probably a lavatory? Drop me off on the groundbreaker and I'll be out of your hair in no time. Oh, thank you so much. I'll just hide in a crate or something. You won't even know I was there. Here, this is my official laboratory headgear. I won't be needing it anymore, so it's all yours.